right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Competitive Edge Real Estate Report. I am your host, Barry Overton, and as always, I'm always excited to bring amazing people to you that are going to give you information that will give you the competitive edge in this real estate market. Now, whether you're in Denver, Colorado, where we're at, or whether you're in different parts of the country, we have information that is going to be beneficial to helping you make the right moves for your real estate portfolio. Today, I am excited to bring a lady on that I've had the opportunity to work with in the past couple of months, and looking forward to some of our continued efforts that we're going to be doing. And again, she's an expert in the mortgage industry. She has 27 years in that industry. I've been living in Denver since her childhood and grew up in this area. And she has seen the vast changes that this market has gone through, and has done some amazing things to be able to give back to the community. We're going to talk about the Green Line movement. She is the founder of the Green Line movement. We've all heard of redlining. We're going to talk about green lining. Sounds a lot better, doesn't it? And she's also the vice president of Impact, the Association of Independent Mortgage Experts. So again, you have a real treat today to hear from someone that is just doing some amazing things in the market and is going to instill some knowledge on you for these next few minutes that can make a difference in your real estate portfolio. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Janine Kempfer. How you doing, Janine?
I'm doing great. Thanks for that glowing introduction.
As only it should be for you. You've done some amazing things in your mortgage career.
Well, thanks. It's been a great career, and I'm just honored to be able to provide support and encouragement for communities here in Denver.
Yeah. And then looking at you and seeing 27 years, it's like, okay, so she started in the mortgage industry when she was 10.
No, I was two.
Two. Okay. All right. My bad. And the thing about it is, like I said, I've known you for a few years, and have been able to see, number one, your expertise, but then your passion for community and the things that you're doing. But let's go back 27 years. What got you excited about becoming a mortgage broker?
Well, it's a story that has stayed with me throughout the years. I really never planned on being in this industry. But I did always understand the importance of being a homeowner. So I became a homeowner when I was 20 years old, because I realized that people that had wealth also owned land or property. So that was always something that was important to me. I went from there to upgrading to, my next house, and then my next house. And then I got divorced, and I had to sell my house and move into an apartment with my son. So here I was, a single mother in an apartment, and I was like a lot of people who just wanted to be a homeowner, but I just didn't have the resources to save the money for a down payment to get into the home. So a friend of mine suggested that I become a realtor so I could use that money as my down payment. And I said, okay. So 6 weeks later, I said, okay, now what? And he's like, you actually did that? And I said, yeah, I'm serious about this. So while I was in school, I had some friends who were also looking for a home, and I started helping them find a home. So I got my license, and about 5 days after I got my license, I had my first closing.
Wow.
And I made a chunk of money, and they got in their house and I got in my house. And so that experience has just stuck with me for a few different reasons. The main reason is I understand that there are a lot of people out there that are in the situation that I was in, that need someone who can show the way and come up with creative ways for people to get into homes. And that's what has been my driving force for the last 27 years. At the same time, my next client needed a mortgage and a home. And back then you could kind of wake up and be a mortgage broker. There were no licensing requirements. So that's what I did. I woke up and they said, we need a mortgage. And I thought I was supposed to do that part too. So somehow I figured out how to maneuver through that mortgage side of it. And I did both real estate and mortgage for about 15 years.
Wow.
So that is the way I started in this industry.
Yeah, and I know now you are the owner of Prime Mortgage. How long has Prime Mortgage been open?
Prime Mortgage has been open a little over 6 years. And, if you think about it, over the last 27 years, the mortgage industry has been through some major ups and downs. I was fortunate enough to work both sides for a lot of years, which I enjoyed. But after the financial crisis and the following licensing requirements, I decided to make a choice between real estate and mortgage. And I felt like the mortgage side needed me more than the real estate side did. It's a complicated process. It's a very meaningful and important thing for families. And so I decided to get my license. I worked in all different areas of the mortgage industry. And about 6 years ago, I decided I could have the most impact by opening my own company. So I am actually one of two Black female mortgage broker owners here in Colorado. And I'm proud to represent the Black community as well as other communities. And I'm also excited to help bring in more people of color and more diversity into this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned impact, and you are actually the vice president of a organization called Impact, and it's the Association of Independent Mortgage Experts, and also the founder of the Green Light Movement. Can you share a little bit about both of those programs?
Sure. So I am very passionate about equal opportunity in home ownership. And so I'm always staying current on what's going on in the market, in the industry. And right now, Black homeownership is lower today than it was in the 1960s when segregation was legal. When the Fair Housing Act was passed in 1968, Black homeownership was at about 43%. Today, it's at 42%. And that's in spite of historically low interest rates and all the different markets that have been favorable for our community. We still have not been able to move the needle on that. And we know that homeownership is the number one vehicle to building wealth. So it's not just that you have a house that provides shelter, but homeownership means so many other things to so many people. So when I was out looking for a way to get involved in an organization that is doing something about it, I didn't quite find anything that aligned with what I wanted to do. So I decided to start the Green Line movement to structure a movement that has measurable results, which means that we can say today we're at 42%, and whatever the Green Line movement can do, let's move that to 43, 44, 45%. So the Green Line movement is a play on words. As you mentioned, everyone or a lot of people are familiar with redlining, which means that people of color and lower socioeconomic groups were forced to live in certain areas, and lending was not available in those areas. So the Green Line movement was created to reverse that, to make those redlined areas and populations a part of the homeownership population by providing down payment assistance, education, certification, and prepare people not only to become homeowners, but to learn about financial planning and how to use their home ownership to build wealth. So that's what the Green Line movement. AIM is the Association of Independent Mortgage Experts, as you said, and it is the largest national association for mortgage brokers. And that organization exists to make sure that mortgage brokers have all the support and tools and lender partners that are needed to help drive more homeownership. I'm the vice president of Impact, which means that I go into communities directly to find out where the gaps are, find out where the challenges are directly from the people from the communities. We don't assume that we know. We want to know. Each community has different nuances. And so once we find that out, we find the products that will make a difference. And if there aren't any, we drive for change, not only directly with lenders, but also through legislation.
That's awesome. And you mentioned the products that will make a difference. And, I always talk about within the African American community, the 40 acres and a mule, and reparations has been a huge topic within the African American community over the past few years. And I know that that's still kind of a constant battle. But from what you just mentioned a few minutes ago about how the best way and one of the easiest ways to create wealth is through real estate ownership. And the fact that there are now different programs, grant programs that are out there, and down payment assistance programs that are out there that are putting us in a position as African Americans, because some of these programs are solely for African Americans. This is as close as we've probably gotten to anything along the lines of reparation. And I know that you are one of the only mortgage brokers, or one of the very few mortgage brokers that can actually offer the Deerfield program. Can you tell us how that came about?
Sure. So the Deerfield Fund is a grant program specifically for African American homebuyers. And it's an excellent program, up to $40,000 in assistance towards buying a home. As a mortgage broker, I was excited to hear about this product, but it wasn't available to brokers. It was only available to banks. So I fought the battle with the Deerfield Fund and with the wholesale lenders to say, hey, this should be available for anyone out there trying to help people become homeowners, specifically Black homeowners. And through a little bit of push and pull, I was successful. And so I not only worked with the largest wholesale lender in the country, but I worked with the Deerfield Fund to become the first mortgage broker to have access to that program.
Yeah, that's great. And I've had the opportunity to have clients that have used that program, and it's pretty streamlined. So it's kind of a seamless process. There's not a lot of hoops to jump through. And I mean, people are excited. People are I had some people in their mid 40s that first time homeowners,
right?
And, specifically because of the Deerfield program. So it's exciting as an agent, and I know for you as a broker, to be able to make those dreams come true and start, as you mentioned, moving that needle in the right direction for us. And I know, again, being a wholesale broker, that there comes benefits when someone is using a wholesale broker versus a retail broker. Can you share some of those benefits with us?
Sure. First of all, I think a lot of people really don't even know the difference. When you say retail versus wholesale, people are like, what are you talking about? But there is a difference. So I'll just explain it a little bit. So when we say retail, we're talking about a bank. So let's say you bank with Bank of America, for example. It is logical to say, well, I need a home loan and I bank here, so I'm going to go to my bank to try to get a home loan. It's not anything wrong with that. What that means is you will go in and do a loan application and try to get approved based on the products that that specific bank offers and the guidelines that you have to meet for their specific product. Sometimes it's fine and it's easy, but sometimes it's not, and you might not get approved. The difference with the wholesale lender is the wholesale lender is also a bank, so to speak. It's a lender. They provide funds for the loan that you're getting, but the wholesale lender does not work directly with the home buyer. The wholesale lender works with brokers, which is what I am. And as a broker, I have the ability to work with several different lenders. And what that does is it gives me a variety of options to meet the specific needs of the borrower. So if someone has a lower credit score than lender A requires, I can go to lender B that might have lower credit scores requirements, for example. And that's across the board. So I believe that the advantage is with the wholesale lender because we have different options. We always tell people to shop around. Well, a lot of people don't have time or knowledge to shop or know exactly the right questions to ask. So as a broker, I ask my client the questions. You know, tell me about your income, assets, employment, and your motivation, and you know what you're trying to achieve. And I take that and I do the shopping for my client, and it's a very close relationship. It's the largest investment most families will ever make, so I take that very seriously. And then we sit down and go through and make the perfect match, and also work with getting down payment funds if needed, and other resources along the way, so that we take that burden off of the borrower and have a positive outcome, which is home ownership.
Yeah, that's great. I know that's one of the benefits, but right now, and particularly your company, you have another benefit of turning buyers into cash buyers. Can you share more in regards to that new program that you have?
Yes. So, I just did a Instagram post on this. We have just come. We're still in it, but I think it's getting a little better as far as competition out here on the market. But I have had a lot of pre-approved buyers out there, over the last, 8 to 12 months, just duking it out, trying to get their offer accepted. And they're offering 20, 30, $40,000 over asking price, and they're still losing, and they're losing to cash offers. And people are like, where are people getting, four or five, $600,000? I don't have that. I don't think I'll ever have that. Maybe I shouldn't buy a house. Well, I have the answer for that. So we are now one of the few brokers that offers the cash buyer program. And what that is a program where we get you pre-approved like we normally do. And once you're pre-approved, we line you up with a company that will go in and pay the cash up front on your behalf. You are the owner of that home from day one, but within 30 days, we do what's called a refinance, and we refinance you into your loan. So you look like a cash buyer. No, it's all, above board and upfront. It gives you the competitive edge over a loan. And the reason why is because we can close the loan within 10 days. There is no upfront appraisal required. We do, what's called a desk review. So we use data to come up with the value. And if for some reason, when you go through the refinance process, you do have to get an appraisal on the refinance. But if there's a gap, the cash program will cover the difference. So a couple of different advantages there. One, you close fast. It's cash, so that gives you a competitive advantage. You don't have to worry about an appraisal gap, and you're paying less for the house. So instead of paying 20, 30, $500,000 over, you're paying what they're asking in return for a fast close. So it's a wonderful program. I'm excited to use it to help more people get a more competitive edge and stop fighting, 10, 15 people for a house. So I think it's going to make a big impact.
Yeah, and I think it comes with like a 1% fee, correct? But
It
when
does.
you look at, yeah, I've had clients that they're paying 5% over or 10% over. So a 1% fee versus coming out of pocket, 5, 10% or more is not a bad opportunity, possibility for someone when they look at this program.
Absolutely. And that's, I've had people say, oh, what's the catch? Well, if you want to call it a catch, that is the catch, but that is the cost for the catch.
Yeah.
In all things considered, 1% on a $500,000 loan is a lot less than 20 or 30,000 over asking.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Janine, I really appreciate you for being here and shedding some light on brokerage, wholesale versus retail, and really more importantly, just sharing some of these great programs that are out here and available and that you have access to. So for my listeners that want to get a hold of you, what is the easiest way to get a hold of you?
The easiest way to get a hold of me is to call me or text me. I always answer my phone. And my phone number is 303-587-7775. If you can't do that, you can email me at Janine@primemortgage.biz, and that's JANINE @primemortgage.biz, and that's B as in boy, IZ as in zebra. And I just want to say I'm really excited with where we are in the market today. I know that a lot of people, are maybe feeling a little discouraged because the market has been so competitive and now rates are kind of going up a little bit. So people are wondering, where they fit in this real estate industry. I have seen a little bit of loosening up. Rates have ticked down slightly, but don't be mistaken. They are probably going to go up a little bit more between now and the end of the year. But I think these price hikes are doing what they were designed to do. It's cooling the market off just a little bit, but also at this time in the market, traditionally there is more inventory. We're in spring, headed for summer. More people sell their homes at this time of year. So instead of competing against 10 people, maybe it's 2 or 3. Prices have also stabilized. So with all that, my message to anybody who's thinking about buying a home is let's go for it. We can find programs for you. If you need down payment assistance, we can find that. If you just need to sit and talk and put together a strategy, I'm always available to do that as well.
All right. Again, thank you so much for joining us, Janine, and shedding light on so many different areas for us. And if you are listening and you didn't get to write that number down, we'll have her information at the end of this video. So you can definitely get her information, reach out to her, get your questions answered. A lot of times I've seen people avoid purchasing a home because they have questions and they get their information from people that are not in the industry. They get their information from family members but they're not getting it from the expert. So you have the access to an expert right here that can answer any of those questions for you. So thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, today, and look out for another episode of the Competitive Edge Real Estate Report that will help you make a difference in your real estate portfolio. Thanks and have a great day.